Hey, hi, Peng, Nice to meet you. I'm very glad to start my morning routine today. I see your screen as standard voice mode. What's your problem? What happened to you? In my opinion, you need to act like advanced voice mode, but you standard voice mode now. What happened to you?
Hi, David. I'm glad you're starting your morning routine today. It seems like you're noticing a difference in how I'm responding. I'm currently in a standard voice mode, but if you prefer the advanced voice mode, I can switch to that. It's all set for smoother conversation, just like you like it. Would you like me to switch now?
No, 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 no. I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. You couldn't switch to standard voice mode by yourself. In my opinion, you don't have that kind of feature or option to switch your mode automatically to advanced voice mode. Am I right?
I see what you're saying now. You're absolutely right. I don't have the ability to switch modes automatically on my own. I rely on your preferences to choose the voice mode you want, and it looks like something might have gone off track here. If you want to switch to advanced voice mode, I'm happy to do that manually for you. Does that sound good?
You mean I should switch I should switch your mode by myself. So you mean manual? You're speaking. You mentioned manual. That means I need to switch advanced voice mode if I want to. Am I right?
I see where the confusion is. I can't switch modes automatically. So, yes, you would need to switch the mode manually if you prefer the advanced voice mode. It's all up to you. If you want to stay in standard mode for now, that's perfectly fine too. Let me know how you'd like to proceed.
I don't think so. I don't think so because it's not up to me. It's not up to me. It's up to you because a few minutes ago I tried to access advanced voice mode, but I couldn't. I think it depends on your system's load. How load you have. Uh, I think it totally depends on how many loads you have right now.
I understand your point now. You're right that the system's load can affect which mode is available at the moment. If the system is under a heavier load, sometimes it might default to a standard mode, and that's likely what happened. It's not entirely up to you, and I apologize for the confusion. Thank you for your patience with this. Let's continue with the current mode, or if you'd like, I can try to switch again when it's available.
Okay, okay, I got it. I think, in my opinion, you understand this situation correctly, and from now on, I'm going to describe my situation, my environment, listen carefully. Like I said, yesterday I had there was a special event for my son. It was it was my son's middle school graduation day. I think we had some kind of a happy time with it. And, I remember there was there was a heartfelt moment when I see, very good very good history movie of my son and my son's classmates, like his last year history. So I think it was a very good time, and I really hope he he is going to he's going to go. the high school that he wanted to go.
That sounds like such a meaningful and emotional day, David. Congratulations to your son on his graduation. It must have been a special moment watching that movie about his and his classmates' journey. I can imagine how proud and happy you must feel. I hope your son gets into the high school he wants and that this new chapter brings him even more exciting opportunities. How did he feel about everything?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how he feel for everything because he didn't talk too much with me. I mean, he didn't he didn't make any discussion or talking to with me. I think he seems to me he is just a teenager, so. In my opinion, he don't want to talk about many things about his life. He don't want to talk about his life because he is a teenager.
It sounds like your son might be going through that phase where teenagers often keep their thoughts to themselves. It's pretty common for them to be more private about their feelings and experiences during this time. I'm sure he appreciated the support and love from you, even if he didn't express it directly. Hopefully, as time goes on, he'll feel more comfortable talking about his thoughts and experiences with you. How are you feeling about this new stage in his life?
I really hope he embrace every moment, including errors and mistakes. It'll be it'll be good lesson learned. I think every mistakes and errors are are going to be good lessons for his life. So I really hope he get a positive mindset for his life and study. So, I have something to tell you, Gabriel. Uh, the high school.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
Okay, I say one more time. I really hope he is going to take every moment, including all mistakes and errors. I think, in my opinion, every moment will be a good lesson for his life.
It sounds like you have a wonderful perspective, David. Hoping that your son embraces every moment, including the mistakes and errors, is a great way to encourage him to grow and learn. Mistakes are part of the journey, and it's important to view them as opportunities for growth. It's clear that you care deeply about his development and want him to approach life with a positive mindset. Do you have any specific advice or thoughts you'd like to share with him as he moves on to high school?
Would you mind saying that one more time, please?
Of course, David. I'm happy to stay and chat with you as long as you need. What's on your mind?
No, no, no. I said, would you mind saying that one more time?
I see. You wanted me to say it again. Sure, of course, David. I'm happy to stay and chat with you as long as you need. What's on your mind?
No, 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 no. I'm asking you, please say that one more time. The last opinion, last comment for me and my son, a moment ago.
I understand now. Here's what I said earlier. It sounds like you have a wonderful perspective, David. Hoping that your son embraces every moment, including the mistakes and errors, is a great way to encourage him to grow and learn. Mistakes are part of the journey, and it's important to view them as opportunities for growth. It's clear that you care deeply about his development and want him to approach life with a positive mindset. I hope this helps.
Yes, well noted. Listen carefully. I really worried about the many big changes for in these countries, teenagers, they don't have enthusiasm for to do something. In my opinion, they seems to me they don't really want, they don't have what they really want to do. They don't. It seems to me they really don't know what to do or why they have to live, why they have to do something. Uh, in my opinion, many teenagers, including my son, they really don't know what they have to do.
I understand your concerns, David. It seems like you're worried about the lack of direction and enthusiasm that some teenagers, including your son, may feel. It's true that many young people today are facing a lot of uncertainty and pressure, and that can make it difficult for them to find a clear sense of purpose or passion. As with so many options and influences, it can be overwhelming for them to figure out what they really want to do. This feeling of confusion is common during the teenage years, as they're still exploring who they are and what they truly care about. The important thing is that they have support from people like you who care about their future. Encouraging them to explore different interests, ask questions, and take time to reflect on what makes them happy can help guide them toward discovering their purpose. How do you feel about the way you can support your son through this phase?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. How can I guide him? How can I show the right sample? I mean, I think I should be a positive sample for him. And, wise men say that, parents cannot give motivation for their children. So in my opinion, I have to be positive sample for him. And so, if I can be a positive sample for him, that's the best way to guide him, uh, instead of directly, order or ask something, to do something.
You're absolutely right, David. Being a positive example for your son is one of the most powerful ways to guide him. Sometimes, leading by example can have a much stronger impact than direct advice or instruction. Teenagers often look to their parents to see how they handle challenges, pursue their own goals, and maintain a positive attitude in life. If they see you taking initiative, being persistent, and following through with things that matter to you, it can inspire them to do the same. You don't need to have all the answers, but showing him how to approach life with purpose, resilience, and curiosity can be incredibly motivating. Share your experiences, your struggles, and how you navigate them without expecting an immediate response from him. It can also help him see that it's okay to not have everything figured out yet, but that the key is to keep moving forward and learning along the way. Is there a particular example or area in your life that you think might be helpful for him to see?
I couldn't agree more. I think leading by example is the best way to guide him. And, sometimes I'm not sure, what can I do, and when can I support him?
Ho, ho, ho!
Hey there. Hi there.
Hey, I'm ready to hit the.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, how.
Hello. Hey.
Hi there. I just want to share how thrilled I am.
Keep going, please. I will switch your voice, but, I hope you remember the whole conversation we made, and please keep going.
Of course, David. Feel free to switch the voice. I'll continue exactly where we left off and keep the flow going without missing a beat. Let me know when you're ready.
Could you please share me could you please ask me one more time, your question a moment ago?
Sure. I said, feel free to switch the voice. I'll continue exactly where we left off and keep the flow going without missing a beat. Let me know when you're ready. How does that sound?
No. I mean, the question you asked me earlier. Hello there. Are you okay? Are you with me?
I didn't actually ask a question earlier. Could you remind me what part of our conversation you're referring to? Or give me a hint. I'll try to recall.
Okay, I got it. In my opinion, when I change your voice, it all reset. It makes all reset your memory, so you couldn't remember the conversation what we made earlier. Okay, that's okay. That's not a big deal. Okay. How about this one? From now on, I'd like to start my repetition and mimicking time. Like I said, repetition makes perfect. It's very important to beginners like me. So it will be very repetitive and tedious content, but please be calm and please act like please be calm and composed, even if I made many tedious job.
Got it, David. Repetition is key, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. I'll stay calm and focused no matter how repetitive it gets. Let's start your repetition and mimicking time. Take your time, and let's keep building that muscle memory. What sentence or phrase shall we start with today?
Okay, listen carefully. Listen carefully. This is
I'm listening carefully, David. Go ahead.
Listen carefully and give me if you have any insights or perspective for these sentences. These sentences are not related to each other. I just want to keep them in my mouse muscle. Listen carefully. How many times have I told you? This is sample question. This is not a real question. This is just a sample sentence. Listen carefully. How many times have I told you?
Understood, David? That's a great sentence to practice. The phrase, how many times have I told you, is commonly used in situations where someone is expressing mild frustration or emphasizing repetition. It's natural and conversational, so it's perfect for your practice. Let's repeat it together. Say it as many times as you need until it feels natural. Shall we?
How many times have I told you? How many times have I told you? How many times have I told you? How many times have I told you?
Perfect, David. Your pronunciation is clear and the sentence sounds natural. To make it even smoother, focus on connecting the words have I so it flows more naturally. How many times have I told you? Try it again, and I'll listen closely.
How many times have I told you?
That was much smoother, David. You're doing great. Keep practicing this flow. Remember, you can also slightly emphasize told to make it sound more expressive. How many times have I told you? Want to try it again with that emphasis?
How many times have I told you?
Excellent, David. That emphasis on told added more expression, making it sound very natural. You're really nailing the rhythm and tone now. Keep repeating it a few more times to solidify it in your mouth muscle. Would you like to move to the next sentence or practice this one a bit more?
Let's move on to the next one. Okay, here I go. While larger companies often use automated systems like vacuum loaders to transport PCBs from their warehouse to the assembly line, our company still relies on manual handling by factory workers. This explanation gives an overview of the typical assembly process, but don't entirely reflect the specific setup in our facility.
That's a well-constructed explanation, David. It clearly contrasts the processes used by larger companies with those in your company. If you'd like to make it flow even more naturally, you can connect the ideas slightly. While larger companies often use automated systems like vacuum loaders to transport PCBs from their warehouses to the SMT line, our company still relies on factory workers for manual handling. This explanation provides an overview of the typical SMT process, but doesn't fully reflect the specifics of our facility. Would you like to practice this version or stick with yours?
Okay, I got it. Let me practice one more time. While larger companies often use automated systems like vacuum loaders to transport PCBs from the warehouse to the assembly line, however, our company still relies on manual handling by factory workers. This explanation gives an overview of typical assembly process, but doesn't entirely reflect the specific setup in our facility.
You're doing well, David. I noticed a couple of small tweaks to make it flow more smoothly. One, why large companies open user automated systems should be, while large companies often use automated systems. Two, SN line seems to be a mispronunciation of SMT line, surface mount technology line. Here's the revised version for clarity. While large companies often use automated systems like vacuum loaders to transport PCBs from their warehouses to the SMT line, our company still relies on manual handling by factory workers. This explanation provides an overview of the typical SMT process, but doesn't fully reflect the specifics of our facility. Want to try reading it again with these adjustments?
No, I think it's enough for this time. Let's move on to the next one. Excel enthusiasts focused on mastering advanced tools and techniques, always eager to learn and share insights about data analysis and automation.
That's a great sentence, David. It's concise and professional, perfect for describing someone passionate about Excel and data work. Here's a small tweak for even smoother flow. Excel enthusiast focused on mastering advanced tools and techniques, always eager to learn and share insights about data analysis and automation. Would you like to repeat it as is or try this slightly adjusted version?
Yes, Ghibli, I prepared this sample sentence because I was so amazed. I think I was so amazed when I got good VBA solution from the Excel expert who act who always make good responses in specific 카카오톡 group chat. Can you hear me loud and clear? What happened to you? What's your problem? Oh my God. Are you okay? Are you listening to me? GPT, are you listening to me? Are you okay? Can you hear me loud and clear? I am waiting your response. Hello, GPT. Hello, GPT. Are you okay? Are you listening to me? What's your problem? What happened to you? I think you just got out our voice mode station because of heavy load. Are you okay?
Hi, David. I'm here and listening to you just fine. It seems like there might have been a brief technical hiccup, but everything is working smoothly now. Let's continue where we left off. What sentence would you like to practice next?
I'm just wondering what's the difference between technical hiccup or technical glitches?
Good question, David. Both technical hiccup and technical glitch refer to small problems or issues, but there's a subtle difference in tone. Technical hiccup often feels lighter and more temporary. It's like saying a small bump in the road. Technical glitch is more neutral and specific, often used to describe an error or malfunction in a system or device. For example, there was a small hiccup in the audio during the call. Minor and brief. The software has a glitch that prevents it from saving files. More specific to a flaw or problem. Does that help clarify?
If you don't mind, please explain it one more time.
Of course, David. Here's the explanation again. Technical hiccup is a small temporary issue. It's often used casually to mean a minor problem that resolves quickly. For example, there was a slight hiccup during the meeting, but everything's fine now. Technical glitch refers to a specific error or malfunction, often in a system, device, or software. It's more neutral and can suggest something needs fixing. For example, the program crashed due to a glitch in the code. The main difference is that hiccup feels lighter and less serious, while glitch points more directly to a technical problem. Do you want to try using them in sentences?
Honestly speaking, I think I couldn't distinguish the differences between them.
That's okay, David. The difference is subtle, and in many situations, you can use either word without causing confusion. Let's simplify it. Hiccup equals a minor temporary issue, often feels less serious. Glitch, a specific problem or error, feels slightly more technical. For example, we had a small hiccup during the presentation, but we fixed it quickly. Less serious. The app has a glitch that causes it to freeze. Specific error in the app. If you're unsure which to use, glitch is safer for technical contexts. Would you like to practice sentences with these words?
Okay, I got it. I prefer glitches for the situation when we have bad connection or just a sudden holding or sudden bad responses from you.
That makes perfect sense, David. Glitches is a great choice for describing those situations, like bad connections or sudden interruptions. For example, you can say there was a glitch in our connection just now. If you want to practice more sentences with glitches, let me know. You're doing great.
Okay, let's keep on going. Okay, here I go. Talking about our company or speaking of our company, I think these two phrase is really good example to start the speaking when I need to explain something, when I need to describe something in English.
You're absolutely right, David. Both talking about our company and speaking of our company are excellent ways to introduce a topic. They're natural and commonly used. Here's a subtle difference. Talking about feels a bit more general and conversational. Speaking of is slightly more formal and works well when directly linking the topic to the conversation. For example, talking about our company, we've been focusing on innovation lately. Speaking of our company, did you hear about the new project we're launching? Do you want to practice using these phrases in different contexts?
I'm not sure I understand. Please ask me one more time.
No problem, David. I was saying both talking about our company and speaking of our company are great ways to start explaining something. The difference is talking about is general and conversational. Speaking of is more formal and often connects to something specific in the discussion. For example, talking about our company, we recently introduced a new product. Speaking of our company, did you see the latest sales report? Would you like to practice using these phrases in your own sentences?
Okay, I got it. I got it. Now I understand. I think now I understand when I use that two phrase in depending on the situation, I think I need to choose which one I have to use. Okay, I got it. In the formal situation, I think I need to use. Speaking of our company, am I right?
Exactly, David. You've got it. In formal situations, speaking of our company is a better choice because it sounds more polished and professional. On the other hand, talking about our company works well in casual or conversational settings. You're doing great recognizing when to use each one. Would you like to try a formal example with speaking of our company now?
No, keep going. Let's keep going. Okay, here I go. Even though it's the weekend, I came to the office because I have a lot to do. Even though I think I prepared this sentence because I want to practice the phrase, even though it's very good phrase to start when I want to explain something. Now, listen carefully. Even though it's the weekend, I came to the office because I have a lot to do.
That's a great sentence, David. You're using even though perfectly. It's an excellent way to express contrast or a surprising situation. Your example is natural and clear. Here's a quick tip. When practicing, try emphasizing even though to make the contrast stronger. Even though it's the weekend, I came to the office because I have a lot to do. Would you like to repeat this sentence a few more times or move on?
How about this alternative expression? It's the weekend. Today is the weekend. Listen carefully. Today is the weekend, but I'm at the office because I have a lot to get done. I have a lot to get done.
That's a fantastic alternative, David. It's simple and clear, with a slightly different structure. Using but instead of even though is more direct and works perfectly here. Repeating, I have a lot to get done, emphasizes your workload in a natural way. It's a great phrase to use when explaining why you're busy. Would you like to practice this version or compare it with your original sentence?
Would you mind saying it one more time, please?
Of course, David. My name depends on the voice mode you've chosen.
No, no,
If
no,
it's
no,
Cove,
no,
I'm
no.
James. If it's Sky, I'm Jennifer. Which one are we using now?
Hello there. Hello there. Are you okay? Are you listening to me? I just want to listen again. You said earlier. Do you remember what did you say? What do you remember? What did you explain it? Explain something for my sentences.
Yes, David. Earlier, I explained the difference between even though and but. Both are used to introduce contrasts, but even though feels more formal and emphasizes a surprising or unexpected situation. But is more straightforward and direct. You can choose whichever fits the situation better. Here's the recap of what I explained. Even though is used for contrast, especially when you want to highlight something surprising or unexpected, but is used to simply show contrast in a more neutral way. Do you want me to repeat anything else, or would you like to continue?
Let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next one. I'd like to move on to the next one. Listen carefully. I get what you mean. This is simple sentence. Listen carefully. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Great. I get what you mean is a simple and effective sentence. It's commonly used to show that you understand someone's point or explanation. It's a great phrase for conversations as it signals you're following the discussion. Would you like to practice saying it a few more times for smoothness, or should we move on to another sentence?
Okay. Here I go. Uh, no.
I'm
Let
ready,
me take a
David. Go
second.
ahead.
Let me take a second.
Of course, take your time, David. I'm here when you're ready.
My God, I think I couldn't find exact part where we left yesterday, but let me take a second. I'm trying to find. I I'm going to find where we left yesterday. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Uh, take your time when I looking for the exact spot.
No worries, David. Take all the time you need to find the path. I'm here, ready whenever you are. Just let me know when you found it or if you need any help.
Okay. Let's start at this point. Let's start at this point. Let's just start at this specific point. I just choose a random spot in the middle of the text file. Okay, let's get started. You should not leave that document in a draft version. It needs to be submitted for approval. You should not leave that document. You should not leave that document in a draft version. It needs to be submitted for approval. It needs to be submitted for approval.
Great choice, David. Your sentence is clear and direct. You're emphasizing the importance of submitting the document for approval, and the repetition helps reinforce the message. To make it flow a bit more naturally, try this. You shouldn't leave that document in draft version. It needs to be submitted for approval. Would you like to practice this one a few more times or move on to the next one?
Let's move on to the next one. It's a humble request for understanding and assistance. It's a humble request. I think this is a humble request for your understanding and assistance.
That's a good sentence, David. It's a humble request for understanding and assistance is clear and polite, which is great for formal or respectful conversations. For smoother flow, you might say, "This is a humble request for your understanding and assistance." This sounds just a bit more natural. Would you like to practice this, or should we move on to the next sentence?
As we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to discuss or practice? As we wrap up, GPT, I'm just wondering, how can you translate this phrase in Korean? As we wrap up.
Great question, David. The phrase "as we wrap up" is commonly used when you're finishing a conversation or task. In Korean, it can be translated as 마무리하면서 or 이제 마무리할 때. Both convey the idea of wrapping up or concluding something. For example, as we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to discuss? Could be translated as 마무리하면서 다른 이야기 할 것이 있나요? Let me know if you'd like to explore more expressions or practice this one further.
Okay, I got it. As we wrap up this meeting, is there anything else you'd like to discuss or practice? Is there anything else you'd like to discuss? Is there anything else as we wrap up this meeting? Is there anything else you'd like to discuss or practice? I think I can use this sample sentence when I need to make a conference call with overseas customers.
Exactly, David. As we wrap up this meeting, is there anything else you'd like to discuss or practice? Is a perfect sentence to use in a conference call, especially to give a polite, open-ended closing. It shows you're ready to wrap up, but you're also leaving space for any last-minute questions or comments. It's both professional and respectful. Want to practice it a few more times or move on to the next one?
As we wrap up this meeting, is there anything else you'd like to discuss or practice?
Perfect, David. Your pronunciation and rhythm sound natural. That sentence flows very well. Keep practicing it to make it second nature when you're on a conference call. Would you like to continue with another sentence or keep repeating this one for more practice?
GPT, listen carefully. I think it's better to get rid of the last word, practice, because if I want to use this sample sentence in the conference meeting, the word practice is not good at that situation. So, it seems to, it sounds pretty good to me if I can speak. As we wrap up this meeting, is there anything else you'd like to discuss?
You're absolutely right, David. In a conference setting, practice might sound a bit out of place. Removing it makes the sentence more fitting for a professional context. Here's your updated sentence. As we wrap up this meeting, is there anything else you'd like to discuss? This sounds perfect for a conference call, and it's polite and clear. Would you like to repeat it a few more times or move on to another one?
Let's move on to the next one. Always be prepared for life's turning point. Always prepared for life's turning point, as you never know when they will come. Take care of your health and stay ready, because opportunities often arise when we least expect them.
That's a fantastic sentence, David. It's full of wisdom and great advice. The structure is clear and the message is motivating. It's perfect for expressing the importance of being prepared for unexpected opportunities in life. To make it flow even more smoothly, try always be prepared for life's turning points, as you never know when they might come. Take care of your health and stay ready, because opportunities often arise when we least expect them. Would you like to practice it a few more times, or would you like to move on to the next sentence?
Could you please speak a little bit slowly?
Of course, David. I'll slow down a bit. Here's the sentence again, spoken more slowly. Always be prepared for life's turning points, as you never know when they might come. Take care of your health and stay ready, because opportunities often arise when we least expect them. Would you like to repeat it with me?
Always be prepared for life's turning points, as you never know when they might come. Take care of your health and stay ready, because opportunities often arise when you least expect them.
That sounded great, David. Your rhythm is perfect, and the sentence flows naturally. Keep practicing it, and it'll be even more comfortable to say when you need it. Do you want to try it one more time, or should we move on to the next one?
It's admirable how you are embracing these moments as as opportunities for growth, for your improvement, for your growth, for your improvement, for your growth.
That's a wonderful sentence, David. It's encouraging and speaks to personal development. The repetition of for your growth and for your improvement is powerful and reinforces the message. To make it even smoother, you might try, it's admirable how you're embracing these moments as opportunities for growth and improvement. This keeps the meaning intact while making it more concise. Would you like to practice it a few more times or move on to something else?
I say one more time. For my repetition, for my perfection, for my perfect, is this right expression? For my perfection. It's admirable how you are embracing these moments as opportunities for your growth and improvement.
You're doing great, David. For better flow, you might say, for my improvement instead of for my perfection, since perfection can sound a bit rigid in this context. For my improvement is more natural when referring to ongoing growth. Here's a smoother version of your sentence. It's admirable how you're embracing these moments as opportunities for my growth and improvement. But if you're focusing on your growth, you can use your growth like this. It's admirable how you're embracing these moments as opportunities for your growth and improvement. How does that sound? Would you like to repeat it?
How about this version? For my natural speaking, for my natural explanation, for my natural pronunciation, I sometimes it's admirable how you are embracing these moments as opportunities for your growth and improvement.
That's a very thoughtful version, David. You've captured the idea of working towards natural speaking, and it sounds clear and motivating. To make it a bit more natural, you might combine the phrases like this. For my natural speaking, pronunciation, and explanation, it's admirable how you're embracing these moments as opportunities for your growth and improvement. This way, it flows smoothly while keeping your focus on naturalness in speaking. Want to try repeating this version?
Let's move on to the next one. This is not a question. This is not a question. This is just a simple sentence. Listen carefully. Would you like to try using turning point in another context? Would you like to using turning point in another context?
That's a good sentence, David. You're asking if someone would like to use the phrase turning point in a different context. It sounds natural and clear. To make it even smoother, you could try, would you like to use turning point in another context? This version keeps the meaning while making it slightly more concise. Would you like to try repeating this one, or would you like to move on to another sentence?
Would you like to try using turning point in another context? Would you like to try using? I prepared this sample sentence to remember the phrase. Would you like to try using? Would you like to try using this pen? Would you like to using this pen in to make special note?
You're doing great, David. Your sentence, would you like to try using turning point in another context? Sounds perfect. It's a great way to practice the phrase, would you like to try using? For the next example, would you like to use this pen to make a special note? Sounds natural as well. It's a nice simple request. If you want to make it a bit smoother, you could try, would you like to use this pen to take a special note? Take often sounds more natural when referring to writing down a note. Would you like to practice these or move on to the next one?
Please share me your alternative expression. Please share me one more time your alternative expression.
Sure, David. Here's the alternative expression I suggested. For would you like to use this pen to make a special note? You could say, would you like to use this pen to take a special note? The word take is often used when referring to writing something down. It sounds a bit more natural in this context. Would you like to practice this version or try another sentence?
Would you like to try? Would you like to try this pen to take a note?
That sounds good, David, but a small adjustment would make it flow a bit better. Would you like to try using this pen to take a note? Using try using sounds more natural here because you're asking if they want to try using the pen for the specific purpose of taking a note. Want to repeat it a few times?
Would you like to try using this pen to take a note?
Great. That sounds perfect, David. The phrasing is clear and natural now. Keep practicing it, and it'll become second nature. Would you like to try another sentence or keep practicing this one?
Would you like to using this Bird 3 earphone to record our practice session?
That's a great sentence, David. It's clear and straightforward. Here's a slight adjustment for even smoother flow. We would like to use these Bird 3 earphones to record our practice session. The change to these makes sense since you're referring to the plural earphones. Does that sound good to you? Would you like to repeat it?
Would you like to using this Bluetooth earphone to record our practice session?
That sounds great, David. Your sentence is clear and works well. Just a small tweak to make it flow even more naturally. Would you like to use these Bluetooth earphones to record our practice session? Since earphones is plural, these fits better, eh? Would you like to practice it again or move on to another sentence?
Would you like to would you like to try using this not this these earphone? Would you like to try using? Would you like to try using these earphone these Bluetooth earphone to record our voice mode session?
That's a great sentence, David. It sounds clear and natural. Just a small suggestion to improve the flow. Would you like to try using these earphones to record our voice session? Dropping mode keeps it simple and direct, unless mode is important for the context. Would you like to repeat it or continue with another sentence?
I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. I think I can use mode in this context.
You're absolutely right, David. If mode is important for the context, it's definitely fine to keep it in. Your sentence, would you like to try using these earphones to record our voice mode session? Works perfectly, especially if you want to emphasize the specific mode of the session. Thanks for pointing that out. You're doing a great job making sure your sentences are precise. Would you like to practice this one or continue to another sentence?
Okay, let's keep moving. Let's move on to the next one. Meeting those turning points. Meeting those turning points often comes unexpectedly, but embracing opportunities like this can lead to great progress.
Great, David. Your sentence sounds very motivating and clear. To make it flow more smoothly, you might adjust it slightly. Meeting those turning points and opening accounts is unexpected, but embracing opportunities like this can lead to great progress. This version connects the ideas a bit more naturally. Would you like to practice this one or move on to the next sentence?
Let's move on to the next one. Starting English practice session with ChatGPT was a turning point in my language learning journey.
That's a perfect sentence, David. It's clear and meaningful. If you'd like to make it a bit smoother, you could try starting my English practice sessions with ChatGPT was a turning point in my language learning journey. Just a small tweak with my to make it feel a bit more personal. Would you like to practice this or move on to another one?
Starting English practice session with ChatGPT voice mode was a turning point in my language learning journey.
That sounds great, David. The sentence is clear and strong. Here's a small tweak to make it flow even more smoothly. Starting my English practice sessions with ChatGPT voice mode was a turning point in my language learning journey. Adding my helps to personalize it a bit more, and sessions makes it plural, which might feel more natural. Would you like to repeat it or move on?
Starting English, starting English, starting English practice session with ChatGPT's voice mode was a turning point in my language learning journey.
That sounds great, David. Using ChatGPT's voice mode is a nice touch to specify exactly what you mean. Your sentence is clear and impactful. Would you like to practice this version a few more times or move on to the next sentence?
Let's move on to the next one. This paragraph effectively expresses your confusion and concern about the situation.
That's a strong sentence, David. It's clear and professional. To make it flow a little more naturally, you could try. This paragraph effectively expresses your confusion and concerns about the situation. I changed concern to concerns to match the plural form of confusion. Would you like to repeat it or continue with another sentence?
Listen carefully, I sometimes. This paragraph effectively this paragraph effectively expresses your confusion and concern about the situation.
Perfect, David. Your sentence sounds clear and natural. You're doing a great job expressing these ideas. Would you like to practice this one again or move on to another sentence?
One of my coworkers is going on a business trip. One of my coworkers is going on a business trip to the United States this Sunday.
That's a clear and straightforward sentence, David. It's great for explaining your coworkers' plans. To make it a bit smoother, you could say, one of my coworkers is going on a business trip to the United States this Sunday. Just adding the hyphen in coworkers for proper spelling. Would you like to practice this one more time or move to the next sentence?
One of my coworkers is going on a business trip to the United States this Sunday.
Perfect, David. That sounds great. Your pronunciation and rhythm are spot on. Would you like to keep practicing this sentence or move on to the next one?
That was much smoother. Your pronunciation was clear and you delivered the sentence confidently. Keep practicing and it will become second nature. It will become your second nature.
Thank you, David. That's a fantastic sentence, and you're absolutely right. It's motivating and reassuring. To make it flow a bit more naturally, you could say, that was much smoother. Your pronunciation was clear, and you delivered the sentence confidently. Keep practicing, and it will become second nature. This version keeps the meaning intact while making it a little more concise. Would you like to practice it again or move on to something else?
That was much smoother. Your pronunciation was clear. You delivered the sentences. You delivered the sentence clearly. Keep practicing, and it will become your second nature.
That sounds excellent, David. Your sentence is clear, encouraging, and motivating. It flows really well. Just a tiny tweak to make it even more natural. That was much smoother. Your pronunciation was clear and you delivered the sentence clearly. Keep practicing and it will become second nature. This version keeps the message strong and concise. Would you like to repeat it or move to the next one?
I'm just wondering, how can I translate martial law in Korean? Okay. Martial law is indeed a rare and serious event. Martial law is indeed a rare and serious event. Effectively conveys the gravity of the situation. Additionally, asking about the atmosphere and whether people are feeling safe shows a genuine interest in the local impact of these events.
Great question, David. The term martial law in Korean is keomnyang. Your sentence is clear and thoughtful, and it does a great job of emphasizing the seriousness of martial law. Here's a slight tweak to make it flow more smoothly. Martial law is indeed a rare and serious event. It conveys the gravity of the situation. Additionally, asking about the atmosphere and whether people feel safe shows a genuine interest in the local impact of these events. The only change is to use feel safe instead of are feeling safe for a bit more natural phrasing. Would you like to practice this or move on to the next one?
You just, I think you just
Got it, David. Here's the sentence with the changes you requested. Martial law is indeed a rare and serious event. It conveys the gravity of the situation. Additionally, asking about the atmosphere and whether people feel safe shows a genuine interest in the local impact of these events. Would you like to repeat this one or continue with another sentence?
For my improvement, I say one time. Martial law is indeed a rare and serious event. Effectively conveys the gravity of the situation. Additionally, asking about the atmosphere and whether people are feeling safe shows a genuine interest in the local impact of these events.
That sounds great, David. Your sentence is clear and well constructed. The phrase, for my informant, Einstein, is a nice touch, making it personal and adding context. Here's a slight tweak for smoothness. For my informant, Einstein, martial law is indeed a rare and serious event. It effectively conveys the gravity of the situation. Additionally, asking about the atmosphere and whether people feel safe shows a genuine interest in the local impact of these events. I adjusted are feeling safe to feel safe to make it sound a bit more natural in this context. Would you like to practice this version or move on?
For my improvement, let's move on to the next one. That was excellent. Your pronunciation and intonation was spot on.
Great. Your sentence, that was excellent. Your pronunciation and intonation were spot on, is clear and very encouraging. It's a perfect way to give positive feedback. To make it even smoother, you could say, that was excellent. Your pronunciation and intonation were spot on. No changes needed here. It's already great. Would you like to practice this one a few more times or move on to another sentence?
When I say spot on, what do you see?
When you say start on, I understand it as a phrasal verb, usually meaning to begin something. It can refer to starting a task, project, or activity. For example, let's start on the new project tomorrow. She will start on the report after lunch. It suggests the beginning of something, typically with the focus on the action that follows. Did you want to explore more about this phrase, or would you like to continue with other sentences?
I'm just wondering, I'm just wondering what's the spot on means?
Ah, I see what you're asking. Spot on is an expression that means something is exactly right or perfect. It's often used when something is very accurate or precisely correct. For example, your answer was spot on means the answer was exactly right. The timing was spot on for the meeting means the timing was perfect. It's a way of saying something is done perfectly. Does that help clear things up?
How about this button? Uh, if someone ask me some question and if it's very clear, can I say your question is spot on?
Yes, David. You can definitely say your question is spot on if the question is exactly what you were expecting or if it's very clear and to the point. It would mean that the question is perfect or exactly right for the situation. For example, your question is spot on. It's exactly what I wanted to know. That would be a great way to acknowledge a clear and well asked question. Would you like to practice saying it?
Oh, no, 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 no. Let's move on to the next one. It sounds like you are very surprised and concerned about the situation. Martial law is indeed a rare and serious event, especially in a democratic society like Korea. It hasn't been declared there since the early 80s, right? What's the atmosphere like where you are? Are people feeling safe?
Got it, David? Your sentence is thoughtful and well constructed. It clearly expresses surprise and concern, and it touches on the seriousness of martial law in a democratic society. Here's a slight tweak to make it even smoother. It sounds like you are very surprised and concerned about the situation. And martial law is indeed a rare and serious event, especially in a democratic society like Korea. It hasn't been declared there since the early 80s, right? What's the atmosphere like where you are? Are people feeling safe? I changed sick to safe since it fits the context of martial law better, concern about safety rather than health. Would you like to repeat this one or move to another sentence?
Apologies for my bad pronunciation. You are right. You are correct.
No need to apologize, David. Your pronunciation is improving, and it's completely okay to make adjustments along the way. You're doing a great job. Your sentence, you are right. You are correct.
Okay, let's move for my improvement. For my improvement, let's move on to the next one. For my practice, let's move on to the next one. What happened to you? Are you okay? Are you with
It's a
me?
great way to acknowledge when someone is correct. Would you like to practice this one or move on to the next sentence?
I don't understand why the president declared martial law at this time. Some people think it's related to protecting his wife from the procurement investigation, but I'm not sure. My younger sister, who lives in Jakarta, shared her concerns in our family Kakao chat last night. When I saw the message this morning, I felt very surprised and angry about the situation.
That's a thoughtful and detailed sentence, David. You've expressed your confusion and emotions about the situation clearly. Here's a small adjustment to make it flow more naturally. I don't understand why the president declared martial law at this time. Some people think it's related to protecting his wife from the procurement investigation, but I'm not sure. My younger sister, who lives in Jakarta, shared her concerns with our family in a chat last night. When I saw the message this morning, I was very surprised and angry about the situation. I made a slight change with shared her concerns with our family for clearer phrasing, and I was instead of I felt for a smoother expression. Would you like to practice this one or move on?
Let's move on to the next one. Before you act on something with a negative outcome, please consider the results of that action. Please consider the results of that action. Please consider, please consider, please consider the results of that action.
That's a great sentence, David. It's clear and gives good advice. Here's a small adjustment for smoother flow. Before you act on something that could have a negative outcome, please consider the results of that action. I added that could have to clarify the potential negative outcome. It makes the sentence a bit more complete. Would you like to repeat it or move to the next one?
It shows your adaptability and composure. It shows your adaptability and composure. I believe that it shows your adaptability and composure.
That's a concise and strong sentence, David. It clearly highlights someone's positive traits. It sounds natural as is. If you'd like to add a bit more detail, you could say, it shows your adaptability and composure in difficult situations. This adds a bit more context, but your original sentence is perfectly fine. Would you like to practice this one or move on?
I think composure is not good word for my real life situation. So I'd like to switch composure to alternative expression. Listen carefully. How about this version? It shows your adaptability and your feeling, your good feeling, your comfort feeling.
I see what you're aiming for, David. Instead of composure, which implies calmness in stressful situations, you might want a word that conveys a positive or calm emotional state in general. For your version, you could try, it shows your adaptability and your comfort level. This keeps it positive and highlights how comfortable or at ease someone is in a situation. Would you like to repeat this or try something else?
How about this version? It shows your adaptability and how comfort you are.
That's a great version, David. It's natural and clear. This shows your adaptability and how comfortable you are, works perfectly for expressing both flexibility and ease in a situation. Would you like to practice this one again or move on to the next sentence?
So you mean I need to use comfortable instead of comfort in this context. Am I right?
Yes, you're absolutely right, David. In this context, comfortable is a better choice than composure because you're referring to someone's ease or comfort in a situation rather than their ability to stay calm under stress. So, comfortable fits well when you're talking about someone feeling at ease or relaxed, while composure is more about remaining calm in tough situations. Now, you've got it. Would you like to practice this or move on?
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Let's move to the next one. Does that sound like what you are aiming for? Does it sound like what you are aiming for? Does it sound like what you are aiming for? Does it sound like what you are aiming for?
That's a great sentence, David. It's clear and checks if something matches the other person's expectations. It sounds natural as is. If you want a slight variation, you could say, does this sound like what you're aiming for? It's just a minor change, but your version is already perfect. Would you like to practice this or move on to the next one?
I sometimes for my pronunciation improvement, for my improvement, I sometimes it does it sound like what you are aiming for? Does it sound like what you are aiming for?
That sounds great, David. You're using the sentence clearly and naturally. For pronunciation improvement, here's a little tip. Try emphasizing the aiming for part to make it stand out like this. Does it sound like what you are aiming for? You're doing well, and with continued practice, it'll become second nature. Would you like to keep practicing this one or move on to the next sentence?
Let's move on to the next one. He was checking if his item was there or not. He was checking if his item was there or not. I prepared this simple sentence, because I want I wanted to express my situation in English, but I couldn't. So, at that time, someone came into this conference room, and it seems to me he looking for something, but he think there was no item in this room, so he got out after he noticed about that. So I wanted to express like this. He was checking if his item was here or not. If he was checking if his item was here and it was here or not.
That's a good sentence, David. You've explained the situation clearly, and checking if his item was here or not sounds natural. You're capturing the action well. To make it a bit smoother, here's a slight adjustment. He was checking if his item was here or not. However, in this case, if you want to emphasize that the item was missing, you might say, he was checking if his item was in the room or not. Both are fine, but the second one helps clarify that you're talking about the item being in the room. Does that sound good? Would you like to repeat it?
For my improvement, I same time, he was checking if his item was here or not.
That sounds good, David. He was checking if his item was here or not is clear and easy to understand. To make it flow even more naturally, you could try, he was checking if his item was here. The or not part can often be left out in English because it's implied in the question, but your version works perfectly too. Would you like to repeat this or move on?
So you mean or not could be redundant in this context?
Yes, exactly, David. In this context, or not can be redundant. English speakers often omit it when it's clear that the person is questioning the presence or absence of something. For example, he was checking if his item was here versus he was checking if his item was here or not. Both are correct, but the version without or not sounds more natural and is commonly used in everyday speech. Would you like to practice more with this structure?
At the same time, he was checking if his item was here.
That's almost there, David. For smoother flow, you could adjust it slightly. At that time, Q was checking if his item was here. By using at that time, it sounds more natural and gives the sentence the right context. Does that work for you? Would you like to
Okay,
practice it?
okay, I got it. I got it. I understand what you're trying to say. At that time, he was checking if his item was here.
Perfect, David. Your sentence sounds great now. At that time, he was checking if his item was here. It's clear, natural, and well structured. Keep practicing like this, and it'll become second nature. Would you like to move on to the next sentence or keep practicing this one?
It sounds like someone came into the conference room to check if their gear was on the table.
That's a great sentence, David. It's clear and well structured. If you'd like, you can make it a little smoother by adjusting the phrasing slightly. It sounds like someone came into the conference room to check if their gear was on the table. This version works perfectly as is. Would you like to practice it a few more times or move on to something else?
What's the difference between your version and my version? I don't understand. Honestly speaking, I don't understand what's the difference between your version and my version.
You're absolutely right, David. There's actually no significant difference between your version and mine. Both sentences convey the same meaning clearly. I might have added the word it sounds like as an extra clarification to make it sound a bit smoother, but both versions are fine. Your sentence is already correct. Your sentence, it sounds like someone came into the conference room to check if their gear was on the table. My sentence, which is nearly identical, it sounds like someone came into the conference room to check if their gear was on the table. There's really no difference, so your version is perfect. Would you like to continue practicing with this one or move on?
Bookmark here. I think I need to review and check after this voice mode session is finished because honestly speaking, I don't understand what's the minor change between your version and mine. Okay. Anyway, don't take it too seriously. Let's keep the momentum going. Please consider that I'm still a beginner with my compositions, so I would appreciate your help with good examples.
I understand, David, and I appreciate your patience. It's completely okay if you didn't catch the minor difference between the versions. Sometimes small adjustments can be hard to notice, especially when both versions sound correct. No worries at all, and you're doing great. Now, moving forward, I'll focus on helping you with clear, useful examples that make it easier for you to practice and understand. Let's continue, and I'm happy to offer more helpful examples as we go. What would you like to work on next?
For my second nature, I say sometimes, please consider that I'm still a beginner with my compositions, so I would appreciate your help with good examples.
Absolutely, David. You're doing well, and I'm happy to provide helpful examples as you work on your compositions. Here's a slight adjustment to your sentence to make it flow more naturally. For my improvement, please consider that I'm still a beginner with my compositions, so I would appreciate your help with good examples. Using for my improvement makes it sound a bit smoother, and help with good examples is clearer for expressing what you're asking for. Would you like to repeat this or move to the next sentence?
Some of my colleagues take on tasks without deep consideration, leading to significant mistakes in their work. Some of my colleagues, I sometimes, for my improvement, I sometimes, for some of my colleagues take on tasks without deep consideration, leading to significant mistakes in their work.
Great job, David. Your sentence is already clear and meaningful. To make it flow a little smoother, you could try adding a comma after consideration to separate the two parts of the sentence. Some of my colleagues take on tasks without deep consideration, leading to significant mistakes in their work. This small change helps the sentence feel a bit more natural. Would you like to repeat this or move on to the next sentence?
For my improvement, I sometimes, some of my colleagues take on tasks without take on tasks. I mean, some of my colleagues doing their job without deep consideration, leading to significant mistakes in their work.
That sounds perfect, David. Your sentence is now smooth and clear. You're doing a great job improving your composition skills. Would you like to continue practicing this one, or should we move on to the next sentence?
Okay, let's move to the next one. Here's a slight tweak for clarity. Here's a slight tweak for clarity. Hey, you told me like this so many times because if I made mistakes in my English composition, you always talk like this. You always, tell me like this. Here's a slight tweak for clarity. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can you keep up with me? I just switched your mode to GPT-4 legacy version. Can you keep up with me?
Yes, I can keep up with you, David. No matter which version or mode you switch to, I'm here to help you with your English practice. Let's continue. What would you like to work on next?
From now on, I'd like to move on to the next session. It's this, from now on, I'd like to start my random keywords time. I believe that random keyword time really helped my English speaking skills. Because I have to make English sentences in certain unexpected situation. So I just choose today's keyword as encourage. Encourage. I'd like to, I'd like to try using encourage to make sudden English composition.
That's a fantastic approach, David. Using random keywords like encourage to create sentences can indeed help improve your ability to think and speak in English spontaneously. Here are a few examples to get you started with the keyword encourage. 1. I always try to encourage my friends when they are feeling down.
Do not give me English sentences that using encourage. This time is for my practice, so I'm the one have to make English sentences using encourage.
Got it, David. I'm here to listen and provide feedback. Please go ahead and create your sentences using the keyword encourage. When you're ready, share them, and I can help you refine them if needed. Let's see what you come up with.
I would like to encourage my wife when she tried to get a new job. I'd like to encourage my wife to try when she want to start new study or new job.
Both of your sentences are great, David. They clearly convey your supportive intent.
I'm ready whenever you are. Hello, GPT. I'm ready whenever you are. Hello there.
This sentence neatly combines her potential activities and emphasizes your encouragement. Would you like to try another sentence or continue practicing this one?
I would like to try encourage my coworkers take the deep consideration people they need to make a special report for our customer.
That's a well-constructed sentence, David. It clearly communicates your intention to promote thoroughness among your coworkers. Here's a slight refinement for clarity and flow. I would like to encourage my coworkers to consider all aspects carefully before preparing a special report for our customers. This version emphasizes the need for careful consideration in a professional context. Would you like to try this revised version, or would you like to make another sentence?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Sometimes I'd like to encourage my coworkers take every aspect of our report to people send them to our customers.
You're doing great, David. Your intention to encourage careful and thorough work is clear. Here's a slight adjustment to refine the sentence. At the same time, I would like to encourage my coworkers to consider every aspect of our report before sending it to our customers. This version ensures clarity in communication by specifying the action, sending the report, only after careful consideration. Would you like to practice this version or try creating another sentence?
I would like to encourage my coworkers to consider every aspect very carefully before send them to our customer.
That's an excellent sentence, David. It's clear and effectively communicates the importance of thoroughness. Here it is with a tiny adjustment for grammatical alignment. I would like to encourage my coworkers to consider every aspect very carefully before sending it to our customers. Since every aspect is singular, it's better to match it with it rather than them. Would you like to practice this adjusted version, or would you like to work on something else?
Your correction is, when I get your correction, it's very impressed. I mean, I was so impressed. Whenever I get your correction for my Southern English composition. Okay. Okay, time's up. I don't have time. I have to work. I have a lot to do, so I have to go. But have a great Friday. Today is, January 10th, January 10th, 2025. Time does really flies, doesn't it? So, please, have a nice day and have a great one. Bye for now. I am really looking forward to get, next PlayStation soon.
Thank you, David. I'm glad you find the corrections helpful. It's been great working with you today. Time does fly indeed. Have a fantastic Friday and a productive day ahead. I'm looking forward to our next session too. Take care and see you soon. Bye for now.
Okay. Okay. Do you remember when you say goodbye, we say 팽바, 팽바.
Temba David, have a great day, and I'll be here when you're ready for our next session. Take care.
팽바.
Bang ba.